Our task right now is to add this fraction to -5. Following that, we'll go ahead and solve an equation involving that fraction and 5. So A, we have 3 over 2 minus x minus 5. First, what we have here is an expression. It's not an equation. There's no equal sign. So consequently, there is no way we can solve for x given this expression, or any expression. All we can do is simplify it, add fractions, and consolidate like terms. Next thing, we need a common denominator. The denominator under 3 is 2 minus x. The denominator under 5 is 1. We don't see that 1 because 1 is the only number that is understood. So our common denominator will be 2 minus x. And to get that, we'll multiply 5 or -5 by 1 in the form of our choice, and our choice will be 2 minus x over 2 minus x. Now we have that common denominator, and so this equals, and 2 minus x downstairs, and there's our 3. Now we'll distribute that -5, and -5 times 2 is -10, and -5 times -x is plus 5x. Must make sure that you multiply both terms by a -5, and then your signs in the relative to the resulting product will be correct. Now finally, it's always a good habit to have your leading term be positive. So we'll put that positive 5x up front, and then 3 minus 10 is -7, and we are done. Well, we just determined that 3 over 2 minus x minus 5 equals 5x minus 7 over 2 minus x. Now we'll deal with question B, and we'll solve the equation 3 over 2 minus x equals 5. And we're going to do this a couple of ways. At the moment, we'll subtract 5 from both sides, and we get 5 equals 0. And the next step, well, we've already added these fractions. As a matter of fact, when you add them, what you get is what we have right here. So we know what that is. It's 5x minus 7 over 2 minus x equals 0. Now, think about this. There is no way a denominator can take a fraction to 0. The only position that can take a fraction to 0 is the numerator. So let's set that numerator equal to 0 and solve. So 5x minus 7 equals 0, or 5x equals 7, or x equals 7 over 5, and that is one way to solve that equation. Well, we'll apply another process to solving this equation. So, as we did before, we'll subtract 5 from both sides, and we get 3 over 2 minus x minus 5 equals 0, and we know that this difference is equal to 5x minus 7 over 2 minus x, and that equals 0. Now we'll multiply both sides by 2 minus x. Now make sure you put parentheses around that 2 minus x. Otherwise, you'll simply be multiplying, without those parentheses, you'd just be multiplying this fraction by negative x, and the 2 would have nothing to do with it. So parentheses, very important. And 0 times this thing is 0, and the 2 minus x's divide out, and we have 5x minus 7 equals 0, and we just solved that. We know that 5x equals 7, or x equals 7/5. And we're done once more. Well, for the third time, we'll solve this equation, and we'll vary our process again. So we have 3 over 2 minus x equals 5. This time we'll multiply both sides by 2 minus x and 2 minus x. Now the 2 minus x's divide out. By the way, can't stress enough how important those parentheses are. They must be there, otherwise we would simply be multiplying 5 times 2, and the negative x would not have to confront the 5. So on the left we have 3, on the right we have 10 minus 5x, so we'll add 5x to both sides, and we'll subtract 3 from both sides, so we have 10 minus 3, and now we have 5x equals 7, or x equals 7/5. So there, we've solved our equation in 3 different ways, and now we are done with that problem.